What's cracking? It's XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. And in today's video, we're taking a look at some games that I played in the Mega Master League because it's back and it's bug-free and it's wonderful. And I skipped the meta stuff. I tried to do some games with Primal Groudon, got my butt handed to me. It's a strong Pokemon. I haven't figured it out yet, but I ended up going straight to the one that I wanted to play, the one Mega Pokemon in this game that I find the most fun. That's Mega Gallade. I know this thing does incredible amounts of damage. Close combat hits like a truck, and I just really wanted to try and make it work because I thought it's just fun, man. I just want to have fun. Mega Master League's like, it feels like a fun format if you can afford it and have the Pokemon built for it, which I recognize not many people do, but I'm going to take a stab at it and see what happens here. And in the lead, I'm actually going to be running a Duskmane Necrozma, not Zacian, not Zamazenta, and I tried both. They both failed me miserably. I'm sorry, they just didn't do good for me. I need a steel that beats Zacian, and Necrozma does just that with Sunsteel Strike. In the back is the Pokemon that I think that you could swap out of this team if you wanted to. It definitely pulled some weight on this team, but I think that a safe swap could be different. You could run some. I tried Lugia, it didn't go too well for me. I tried a bunch of stuff today, man. I ended up playing 2.5 sets with this exact team. Went about 50-50 with the games. I went slightly more positive than I did negative, but not to say this couldn't be a climbing team in more capable hands or with a different safe swap in the back. This game brought to you by Zacian. This whole video brought to you by Zacian, to be honest. I mean, this thing is just on every team, and it should be. I mean, it's ridiculous, the stat product, the attack stat this thing has, but it's been mostly for me in the lead. And so I've enjoyed that fact, being able to lock it onto my Necrozma, and Gallade can handle it later in the game. We have Fusion Flare on Kyurem. There's ways to deal damage to it, but the Sunsteel Strike connects in this one. And the opponent drops in their Mega Gyarados, and this Mega Gyarados scares me a bit, and the opponent is going to bring in their Zamazenta. The Crown Form Zamazenta, having that Steel typing, is not going to appreciate these Fusion Flares being thrown at it, and I now find out that it does about that much. We're going to go over farm here a little bit. The opponent still does have Pokemon in the back, plus they have 2 shields. This game is far from over. The opponent going to shield up the Zamazenta to try and get this move off, and at this point, I'm going to go for a shield advantage Gallade sweep because the opponent has the Mega Gyarados in the back. They are weak to my energy, and this is one of the reasons why I'm actually running Psycho Cut over Confusion, is because in this meta, for the most part, the psychic damage is resisted by almost everything, Mega Gyarados being one of the most common along with Zacian, and I just like having the pacing on the charge moves. We're able to connect with a close combat, baby! And this is where I found out that we fully one-shot the Gyarados, minus maybe 5% of its health bar, and it's amazing. And now, after playing about a set and a half, fumbling around, not figuring out what the team is, after that, I feel kind of good. The opponent leads a Togekiss to us in the next game, and they safe swap into Dialga Altered, and I kind of don't really have a safe way to deal with this thing, to be honest. Dialga is also really, really good in this format now because Palkia is so common. So I expect it to be a lot more popular, especially the origin form that most people have kind of got. Altered form will make a comeback too. I feel that heavier attack stat gives it some play as well. Dark Pulse is going to connect here. This first move was shielded up. The opponent going for another move here. I have to hope it's not the Draco Meteor. That would do a ton of damage. And the opponent going for the Iron Head. And I'm hoping this lets me farm down now. They don't get to a new move, even with the improved pacing on Dragon Breath, which has been a very impressive thing to watch on Kyurem for this team. It's just the amount of energy it's able to get so quickly is incredible. The opponent has a Dragon Tail Groudon in the back, and this is the man. I wanted to make this thing work, but I just could not for the life of me get Groudon to work positive for me. No matter what teammates I paired it with, I didn't really try it for more than a set though, to be fair. So that was my first set of today. The second set was, let's make Gallade work, and here we are. So Fire Punch nearly takes us out. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get much headway in there, but we do have a move loaded on the Necrozma for the Togekiss. I go up to the close combat. The opponent going to go for a move here. I have to respect this Precipice Blades, it could be, and it's the Fire Punch. I see, as I'm going out of that charge move animation, I see the opponent go for the Dragon Tail. I make sure that they're actually going for the move, because that could have been a swap to Togekiss, and my energy would have been basically useless there. Now that we have locked them into the Dragon Tail, I'm going to be able to go for the close combat. Not enough to KO, dude! That's how thick that Groudon is. Dang, boy, he thick. We're going for the Sunsteel, though. And a Shadow Claw after is going to take out that Groudon, and that's going to be a good game well played. Necrozma on the lead here versus Mega Gyarados. This is really where I learned that this thing is terrible for this team. Yes, you might see in the, I might even, yo, someone's gonna comment, this team loses to Mega Gyarados, and I'm like, you're right, it does. But we try our best anyway. And in this game, they have the shiny, they're going for the crunch. This is just like the one time where you wish you had Zacian instead, you know? But we're going to be going for the Necrozma's Sunsteel Strike here. The opponent actually decides to give us a shield there, which is really nice. We're going to be looking to go for the Sunsteel Strike. I kind of realize at this point, too, that I don't think I get there anyway. So they go for the Aqua Tail. Bit of a saving grace for me, and Gallade's going to come in. Gallade's going to come in here. The stammering, it comes out of the worst times. So Gallade comes in here, looking to try to get up to the double close combat. Gonna get this one off guard the opponent, maybe trying to stay in, play this out until I get to the back-to-back, and then they're gonna make a switch to catch, but they're gonna shield up the Gyarados. We're going for some more energy here. Gonna shield up this move. Our defense is down. We kind of need to keep Gallade around for a bit here. Opponent going for some more energy, but does not realize how quick this pacing on Psycho Cut is. We're taking out the Gyarados. And the opponent's got his Zamazenta in the back, and that actually might just be why they didn't even try to, like, swap or anything, because a close combat would have absolutely clapped the cheekies off of that Zamazenta. It's made of shield, but Gallade is literally just warrior, and it just smash shield. Gallade smash. If we have a Zamazenta, we have a Gallade. Hulk smash. All right, anyway, going for the Fusion Flares. That's why I like Kyurem on this team. That's why I liked it, right? Because it was a very flexible Pokemon that had some interesting play with Fusion Flare Ice Burn. We are able to outpace the opponent thanks to the overfarm that we just had, and we're going to go for this Ice Burn to attempt to knock out the Palkia. It is enough. And that's a good game. Next battle here, we got Necrozma on the lead versus Zacian. By the way, this video was sponsored by Zacian Leads. Coming to a Mega Master League near you. Almost everybody's playing it, bro. And look at those animations. They look really flashy. Did you notice? I don't know if you noticed. I just noticed that today. I know that, like, a couple weeks ago, they, like, tuned it way up and blinded people, practically. But I feel like they've got it correct now. It's kind of cool, to be honest. Opponent's going to be going for a move here. I always let this first move go. Even if it's the Behemoth Blade, close combat doesn't matter. It is going to do heavy damage, but I'm not going to try to test my luck. Now, the opponent makes a nice catch here onto their Palkia. We're going for the Dark Pulse. I don't want to risk going for any farm, even though the Dragon Breaths are resisted. I'd rather come in with my Kyurem. I'm going to fully farm this thing down with one shield, and then I should have energy to hit the Zacian with when it comes back in afterwards, if it does decide to, which it would make sense to, right? It's Kyurem. We're going to be going for the Fusion Flare, though, after one Dragon Breath. In case the opponent does try to throw right away, I would have shielded that just to try to make some magic happen. But the opponent does get to a charge move, and now I have to shield up my Kyurem or let it go. We're going to see what the decision is here. We're going for the close combat. The opponent is going to get my final shield, and I overfarm too much. I should have just gone for the Fusion Flare. Did not remember how much energy they had. I get my cheekies clapped with that close combat going through, but now in comes the Mega Gyarados. Can we survive long enough to get this close combat off? Yes, we can. But disaster strikes. It's not enough. Trying to go for the Shadow Claws, going for a move here, but I'm not able to make it. Opponent has a charge move, and in comes my Gallade, getting the Psycho Cut through. We need to be able to farm this down. The opponent goes for the heavy hitting outrage. We're going for the farm down, and unfortunately, the opponent has a move at the last second. Oh, that was such a close game. We'll play to the opponent. That was a nail biter, dude. If I got that farm down, I had a chance. But 'twas not to be. Zacian in the lead in the next game. And here we go again. Zacian's going to be staying in. Most of them do to try and throw it, move, do some damage, because they've usually got dragons of some kind in the back. And so Necrozma is a very uncomfortable thing to have in the lead, especially if they don't know if you have like Outrage or something. As soon as I show my Sunsteel Strike, usually they're a little bit more willing to swap out of this matchup because they expect me to probably have Dark Pulse, which in this case I do. I don't know that I would change Dark Pulse, to be honest. Everything kind of felt like it was right with this team, at least in the way it was set up. I just wish I had a more reliable way to deal with Mega Gyarados, I think is really where I'm at with this team. So we get to stay in, or we get to come in with the Kyurem, stay, go for a couple of extra Dragon Breaths here, and then go for the Ice Burn, trying to get this thing down a little bit lower. We did take a, oh my goodness, my mouth is just, anyway. Ice Burn's going to knock out the Necrozma. I was trying to go for some extra farm there in order to try and make sure I had some energy for the matchup after, especially because they had just thrown the Dark Pulse pretty close to when they got it, so I knew I could overfarm by quite a bit more. Going to be going for the Ice Burn there. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get the debuff. I'm reaching for any charge move I can get at this point, but now I can just let this go, save the shield for my Gallade, and swap right in, go for a Leaf Blade if they don't swap to catch this move, which they do not, dude. I don't think that they don't remember Gallade's pacing, I think, because there's so many trainers that I was able to catch off guard with this today. Now we have a shield up on the opponent. We're going to be able to get to this close combat, and this close combat does, I think, about 60, 70? No, it's like 60% of the Zacian's health bar, and that's going to do more than enough for us here, and that's going to take out the Zacian. Well played to the opponent. I'm having fun. That's what matters, right? Necrozma in the lead against another... Bro, I didn't just cherry pick these games. Like, I cut out a couple of, like, really bad games that I really just either got completely hard-walled or didn't play very well and wasn't proud enough to show that. But, I swear, dude, out of the... What did I play this team? 12 or 13 games, and I could not even joke with you that... At least 7 or 8 of them were Zacians. Like, not even joking with you, not even joking with you guys. So, we're gonna go for the close combat. That knocks out Gyarados. I owe you the button every time. It has to happen without fail. We're going to be able to full send another close combat at whatever comes in. That is a Palkia. The opponent decides, however, to respect this damage that we're going to be able to bring in Kyurem and farm up some energy. I'm very interested in just fully farming these down. Do you see the difference in stat product is currently on display between Origin Palkia and Kyurem, where you could actually realistically think about farming this down. Now, Kyurem's energy to me feels important, and I'm going to go ahead and shield up the Behemoth Blade, go for these Fusion Flares, look to try and see if I can't get a shield off the opponent, because as soon as I get a shield in this matchup here, I can swap straight to my Necrozma, go for the Sunsteel Strike, because it is going to be enough damage. Sunsteel Strike is going to connect and do massive damage, knocking out the Zacian. Back in comes the Palkia. We're going to be going for the Dark Pulse, looking to just do some chip damage and get rid of this thing. The opponent does need to leave this matchup with a lot of energy in order to have a chance to take out the Kyurem, and they're not going to be able to make it after the Dark Pulse lands, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to the opponent. Aquatail. Not quite. Gallade just go. When a Gallade goes off, dude, it's so fun. Next game against, I believe this trainer's pretty well known, Schmiedy. I know I've heard of their name on quite a few channels, so very nice to see a familiar, well-known face here in the battles. We're going to be going against another Zacian lead, and I'm not, like, if you want to get some practice against Zacian leads, just queue up right now, because they're everywhere. Well, I recorded this last night. You're seeing this in the morning, well, my time in the morning. You're seeing this sometime on the 17th. It's the 16th as of recording. Wait. XehrFelrose, shut up, dude. I mean, this is all the same matchups, man. I keep saying the same things over and over again with the same... Like, this meta is so condensed. They have a Mega Gyarados. They're going to come in with a Kyurem that has Dragon Tail, and I have a quest here. I need to make it to 2 Fusion Flares, so we're going to be looking to go for it. Fusion Flare number 1 gets the shield. Can I get to another one? No, I go down with the move! And I'm sad. I come in with my Necrozma, looking to try. I should have probably shielded here, but I wanted to save the 2 shield advantage for my Gallade. So we're going to see if that pays off in this game, because that's really what I'm hoping for. Looking to go for good timing wherever possible here to maximize my energy gains within these fast moves. Fusion Bolt's going to get my first shield. I'm going to go for 4 more Cycle Cuts, launch this close combat, and if I get the opponent's final shield here, I think I'm going to be okay. The opponent does let it go, though. They save that shield, but Gyarados is already low enough. If I can get to 2 close combats before the opponent can get to 2 moves, we are going to be able to take it home, because Gallade has a pretty large attack stat, and I'm pretty sure it beats Gyarados. The opponent's only way out was calling a bait. And well played to the opponent. The Zacian Gyarados core is incredibly common, and I feel like Gallade does really well into really both of those to a degree. Like, Gallade's pacing the close combat in the Zacian matchup is really nice for it. Just Metal Claws kind of add up after a while after you lose your defense, so you just have to be careful. But the opponent does have their Togekiss here, and I'm just very happy to just let this sit here. I'm going to be going for Sunsteel Strikes. I really don't feel like it's worth the debate, just in case they're trying to do a little bit of damage to my lead and then just take me down, maybe get me down a shield before they can let this Togekiss go. But I should hopefully be able to make it to a second Sunsteel Strike before they can get both my shields at least. I do have to put down one shield because they do outpace. The pacing with Pecta Aurasphere is insane. Going to be going up to 100 energy before we throw here, just so I can get as close as I can to a Dark Pulse to throw in case I need, or even can, honestly. We're going to be able to knock out the Togekiss, and honestly, had they shielded that, I might have been in trouble. The opponent comes in with a Zamazenta, and due to the pacing on Kyurem with these Fusion Flares, it's actually not an awful thing to safe swap into, because I can do a ton of damage to this thing. I actually get their final shield, which is massive. Gallade at this point will hopefully do well in the back. I'm thinking it could have been, you know, a double crown team or something. We'll see, but we cannot get to this Fusion Flare, unfortunately. The opponent does farm down before we get there. It's all up to Mega Gallade now. You're going to be looking to go for the close combat here. The opponent lets me get there, or they just get to the move themselves. Close combat reached immediately, and the debuff will be taking us down to -2, but we're going to be able to go and see if we can't sweep this game. We do have a Dark Pulse loaded, or just about, on the Lion. We're going to be going for the close combat. I actually don't know how much this does. I'm curious. Well, I didn't when I threw it. Close combat lands, gets him down to about 55%, and Dark Pulse hopefully does enough to do the rest. The opponent going down to the Dark Pulse, and that's a good game. Well played. Definitely needed that damage from the close combat. Now we get back into another game where our nemesis is on the field. Mega Gyarados in the lead here is a massive pain, and I have not gotten shields from any Mega Gyaradoses since the first one, so you know, you could just run Outrage on this thing and maybe it's fine. To be honest, I don't know, but the opponent is able to land a very hard-hitting crunch, and I'm just going to go for a Sunsteel. I ideally would like to get this Sunsteel Strike on them, and if I do get it on them, force them to throw the energy here. I want to get them down in a Leaf Blade range. That's the ideal thing to do here, and then hoping that maybe Kyurem or Gallade can clean up in the back, but the opponent goes for a full farm down. They must know that they can, which apparently you can do that. Opponent's going to bring in their Zamazenta, though, and once again, we do have Kyurem with the energy advantage, and they're going to be going down to these Fusion Flares before I'm having to shield their moves, or at least going to be doing a lot of damage if they don't decide to shield here. The opponent going to be going for a charge move. I look to make a catch, but it's probably just me catching hands, because they just go for Behemoth Bash in that matchup. They don't ever go for close combat, but a man can dream. I'm hoping that if I save the energy on that Kyurem, that it's going to be helpful to me later in the game. Gallade looking to try to make a difference here. Quick pacing, 2 shields. Can we see what comes in here? Can we handle it? The opponent has 2 shields. They have quite the advantage over me here, actually. The opponent, however, is going to come back in with the Gyarados, and I'm hoping that maybe Kyurem's energy is going to be good later in the game. The opponent now going to be looking to bring in their Zacian. Excuse me. And at this point, I'm hopeful. They do have Metal Claw. That's doing a lot of damage very quickly. I need like 4 Fusion Flares, dude. I need 2 for the knockout, 2 for the shield, and 2 for the show. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get there. And opponent's just going to be able to farm us down. Gallade only has, I believe, like 1 HP. And so they're going to be able to Metal Claw down, and those 2 shields are just going to be safe for next game, I guess, because I didn't decide to use them in this one. Next game, we have an Urshifu on the lead. This is kind of dangerous, and I really don't have a good way to safe swap out of this. So, opponent stays in. It is the water Urshifu. I was slightly hoping it might be the dark one, just because at least that way I can try and threaten with a Sunsteel Strike. The opponent goes for a charge move here, and I really don't know that there's ever a chance that I can safely safe swap in Gallade here. And so I'm just going to be looking to go for as much damage with my Necrozma as I can. I do actually get a shield from the opponent, which is nice, and then they're going to fully farm me down. So unfortunately, Necrozma here being a lot of energy for the opponent. They're going to go for a move. It's Aqua Jet or Dynamic Punch. They're only ever going to throw an Aqua Jet here, and so I'm going to let it go, hoping that Gallade can handle this thing. We're going to be going for just a few more Psycho Cuts. I'm hopeful that they don't get to throw a move beforehand, because I don't remember the counts off the top of my head for counter to Aqua Jet. Leaf Blade gets the knockout here. We have a shield advantage, and the opponent comes in with their Crown Form Zacian, and at this exact moment, I'm looking to unleash both of these close combats upon the opponent. We're going to be looking to go for the first one here. This likely doesn't get a shield. The opponent only having 1 left, they're going to let that go, and then they're going to end up letting us get to the second one here. They're maybe looking to go for a farm down because our defenses are so low, but I have to go into my Kyurem now and just have to shield everything they throw. I'm hoping I can get to the double fusion, or I'm going to a fusion flare before they get to the double close combat. Opponent goes for the first one. They have the second one locked and loaded and ready to go. So now I know they have no energy. That's at least one good thing. Depends on what's in the back. The opponent has the Primal Groudon. At least I get to find out how much an Ice Burn does, because I'm going to need 2 of them, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. This is a Mud Shot Primal Groudon. Ice Burn does a lot of damage, drops the defense, maybe. Yeah, Fusion Flare probably would have been enough there, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make it. The Precipice Blades rocks my Kyurem, and the Gallade's going to go down in the end to the Groudon. Very fun games, though, with this thing. I mean, I really recommend, if you guys have a hundo, or even not even a hundo, just play regular. Let's play whatever you have, man. as good as you can get it. If you feel good about maxing it out, forget it. Just play it, man. But I had fun with this. I really did. If you're looking for some meta stuff, I know the other YouTubers are putting it out, and I just like put like Groudon and Groudon or something like that beats Kyogre, or just play the Zacian-Gyarados core. I mean, they're just really incredibly strong. So let me know in the comments if you're playing the Mega Master League and what you're playing this week. I'd love to see it. And Shoutcast, dude, play a saucy Mega, send it to the channel, let me shoutcast it, please, and thank you. I appreciate you if you do. There's a Google form in the pinned comment description you can fill out if you'd like to do so, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, thank you very much. Bye-bye.